afternoon, everyone. How are you today? How's everyone? I'm Anna P. Santos, and I am a columnist for Rappler. I write about women's sexual health rights, and I have to tell you, I think I have the most enviable job in the world. I write about women's sexual health rights in the context of empowerment. But what does that mean? What does that word empowerment mean? It's a word that you and me both have heard quite a lot. But what does it mean exactly? Does it mean overcoming perceptions? Does it mean breaking through glass ceilings or going beyond the limitations that we set on ourselves? Outside, there's a little photo there where I saw a lot of girls enjoying themselves, taking photographs with a little placard. And they wrote things like, they said I could never make it in a man's world. They said bossy girls were just not gonna cut it. And I myself put up a placard that said, they said I was just, in all caps, a single mom. And I could see from the photos that you've shared that there's so much fun and yet fulfillment in breaking barriers, debunking labels, so we can all shine. And there's also something that has to be said about how we can mobilize ourselves as a global community in times of natural disaster or emergency. In that way, empowerment also has a selfless angle. When we're empowered, we reach beyond ourselves and we extend ourselves to help others. And that's exactly why Rappler and Pantene have put together this forum, so we can have an intimate chat. You know, little girl talk, and some of the guys are here too. So we can talk about where women today stand on issues like work-life balance, family, social life, beauty and career, and the quintessential being the best that we can be. We're calling this How We Women Whip It. I'm not going to preempt the presentation this afternoon, but I will tell you that we have a lot to talk about today, and we have very inspiring women as guests on our panel. They will talk about how, just like you and me, they've had their own struggles with self-doubt, with perception, and how they overcame them. We'll also hear from other men and women in Metro Manila who were surveyed by our friends at Lilo Research on the same issue. And when you have that aha moment, or what we call at Rappler, awe-inspiring moments, and I know there will be lots of them, share them with others. Tweet with the hashtag WHIPIT, or share photos that you've taken at our photo booth with the same WHIPIT hashtag. We're also live blogging and live streaming this forum, so you can invite your friends to watch and join the conversation by going to rappler.com. We've got a full afternoon ahead of us, and I'm very happy to kick off this event with a gentleman on board. I think it's fitting that we kick off a women's forum with a gentleman. And I'll tell you why. Here, with a few words on why we should whip it, is Pepe Torres, brand manager for Total Hair Care, Procter & Gamble, Philippines.
It's an honor to be able to speak in front of such a distinguished community on why we think this movement is so important. So why whip it? First, I want to start with what Pantene, sorry, I should be moving to the next slide. What is whip it? Sorry about that, guys, some technical difficulties. But let me start with why we're doing this. It's because of what the brand Pantene believes in. First, we think that beauty is power. When you feel beautiful, you're unstoppable. Second, Pantene is not just in the hair care business. It's in the personal success business. And finally, we think that real beauty, and we don't just mean how you look externally, takes hard work. And we are here to support women on that journey. So then, what is WHIPIT? It's a call to action that evokes a sense of empowerment. Look at it as maybe a more mature version of You Go Girl. Second, it urges women to cast aside societal prejudices that hold them back. Because we think that the worthiest successes in life come from true effort and brave moves. Yet society has not fully accepted women who are, as you can already see, too bold or confident. Why is there such a thing for women, yet for men, that doesn't seem to exist? Now, I'd like to share, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, and I guess to refresh our memory, the video which kicked off this spark of a movement.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, and their tears are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Mad world, mad world.
But first, I would like to say a big thank you to the team, our partners at BBDO Guerrero, who helped develop this campaign, who helped come up with the insight behind this entire spark of a movement. Now, the really cool thing is, since we aired this a few weeks ago, people have been responding. Great song, great concepts, nice thing to hear. Very empowering. Maybe that's closer to where we want to be. I love when people are responding and playing back the message and I think owning it. You know, it's amazing. Don't let labels hold you back. Hashtag love being a woman. And it's also really cool to see that people are resonating with the insights that are in there. Pantene's new commercial is gold. Again, nice to see. Don't let labels hold you back. So clearly, folks are responding to the video and what it stands for, the insight behind it, and the message we're trying to send. But not all responses are positive. There's this guy, for example, and I'll be very transparent. Ignorance, blind consumerism. Really not happy with it, actually. Let me guess, this commercial was created, conceptualized by a female or gay male ad exec who feels the need to empower women in a society where she feels oppressed by men. It's very long, so I'm going to just capture what I thought were his key points. Why all the envy towards men who happen to be confident, etc., when women are seen as bossy, pushy, selfish, and vain? Maybe it's simply because they are. And finally, this commenter mentions, does this propagate even more sexism, and all in order to sell a damn shampoo? Too bad. It was a good commercial, but with a horrible message. So actually, this came out pretty quickly after the video came out. I saw these comments, and for a while, I thought about it, and I decided, hey, we live in a different age where we get to respond and interact and have a dialogue and a conversation with consumers, and that's actually why we started this. So I actually decided to respond. And I would like to read out to you my full response because I think it captures not just what the company believes in and why we're doing this, but also personally why I believe in it and what I think is at stake. So let me read out to you my full response. First, of course, I had to say, thanks for commenting and sharing your point of view. For full disclosure, I'm with P&G Philippines, the company behind Pantene. First, I was one of the people who worked on developing this movement and this commercial. And I'm happy to tell you that this was not conceptualized by a female or gay male ad exec, as you suggested. I'm male and straight. not that there's anything wrong with being gay. And the greater team behind this was very diverse in gender and probably sexuality, though I didn't really care to inquire about the latter. So I'm glad that's out of the way. Second, I'd like to address your point of view. Our intention is to show that when men and women do the exact same thing, especially in the workplace, men tend to have the benefit of the doubt, and women have a higher tendency to be judged and labeled unfairly. There's more than a few studies and assertions from very credible people around this. So I shared with him a couple of links, which interestingly enough were actually shared by either consumers or some of my own colleagues in response to the video. And they said, you should check this out because it really seems to be reinforcing your message. So I continue. This gender bias bleeds into other aspects of society as well. For example, in a study we developed with Rappler, for which we will find out more later, we found that a majority of Filipinos believe that it's more acceptable for men to have extramarital affairs versus women. Personally, this is how I knew that we were onto something real. When I saw the first conceptualization of this video, I felt something inside me, and I started tearing up. Though, of course, I tried to hide it. Talk about gender bias. It was actually guilt. I knew that I was guilty of judging women the same way, which is a shame, because I was very lucky to grow up around three very strong women: my mom and my two sisters. That's when I knew we had to do this. So here's one of my sisters. Her name is Monica. She has been Iron Woman for the Philippines 4 times. She is probably the strongest woman I know, and I've not met anyone so fiercely dedicated to being #1 in the world at what she does. That is literally what she wants to be, the #1 triathlete in the world. It's clear she's #1 in the Philippines, but she wants to take it higher. Finally, I want to address your concern that you believe it's a shame that this was all just to sell shampoo. Pantene as a brand believes that we exist to help women and their world shine. Yes, we do this through our products, which we create, develop, and improve to give women better and better hair. But we also looked broadly at what was holding a woman back from shining. And it was very clear that it was labels, double standards, and gender bias. Like it or not, brands have a lot of media clout because of advertising budgets. Personally, I would like to embrace a world in which brands are able to use this influence to be agents of positive social change. Thanks for commenting, and I hope you keep an open mind. If you feel strongly about your point of view, I suggest you follow the conversation and material we're developing in partnership with Rappler that explores this movement even further. I think that summarizes not just how I, but also the company feels about the beginning of this movement on WHIPIT, and we really hope that we join together in making this a true movement and something that really impacts the Philippines. Thank you.